Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I'm Bancroft, being joined once again by Jake, Jason, and Jimmy. Fluff is still currently out right now, so hold on tight.
What's going on, yo?
What's up, fellas?
Yes, sir.
And like always, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them to there for a reason. Today's matchup, we got Jason playing Red Broly, and Jimmy, you brought this incredible, never before seen deck. Wait. This is an original deck, actually.
Nobody has ever played this deck before.
Or claimed that it's their...
I haven't even played. I don't even know who this is.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh no, they got girly ass arms though.
God, that's a throwback.
Well, that being said, hope you all enjoyed today's matchup. Alright, we've seen Red Broly a lot. Jimmy, I know the internet blew up last week when it comes to this particular deck, but kind of give us a little bit of information on it.
So, this is the ultimate deck Towa leader, utilizing the SS4 package from the anniversary box. So there was a big, what's the word? For lack of a better term, outcry in the community over this ruling where the multicolor black cards are also treated as non-black cards, which makes it so they have no specified cost and their cost is reduced by 1 using Towa's permanent, which is nutty to say the least, because the deck can do some very degenerate things and do a lot of really powerful plays for 1 energy. The thing that sets it back, though, is that all of the multicolors still have energy exhaust and they still have a 1 cost combo. And when a majority of your deck is filled with these 1 cost combo cards that you don't really want to charge because you want to stay on curve, it can make for some not so fantastic plays.
The defensive potential of the deck is a little weak for as strong as the aggression can be.
Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of people saying it's broken, it needs to be fixed, this is ridiculous. But after playing it and playing quite a few games with it and playing against it in some cases, I don't think the deck is as insane as some people are really calling it to be. Now, the Gohan counter, that's a pseudo Nimbus against monocolor decks, is fantastic. And the Bardock counterplay is nuts. It's just a denial of hope on a stick for 1 energy, which is fantastic.
And that's where I was talking to Jordan about it at our last locals, where I was like, if this leader is allowed to play this engine, give me my AOD leader that could also reduce costs.
Shut up about AOD, Bancroft. We don't want to hear it. You got the 1 drop. Shut up.
But that's what I'm referring to. This leader is kind of like that 1 drop and the leader put together. So, and those cards are so good. I do agree with you. They're not as powerful as all the AOD cards could be, but it's still for 1 energy for all those cards, and they're all 16Ks. So even swinging at your opponent, non-awaken still has to combo a card off. Non-awaken combo 2 cards off just to not take the hit, or vice versa on awaken for 1 card.
So the best way to think about these odd number cards, a 16K is a 20K defender but a 15K attacker, is the best way to think about it.
Exactly.
So a lot of times your opponent is going to want to use skills to clear your cards off the field, and on the backside of Towa, she gets a draw when one of your Xeno cards is removed. So, do you want to remove 1 single card and give them an additional draw after they already have an 8-card field? Sorry, my mic is slowly falling down. Hope you can't hear that. But so I do think there is a variation of Towa where you don't run as many of the SS4s, and you mainly run the old Towa defensive lock package of the 6-drop slug with the 9-drop and the 2-drop that pulls out the 9-drop. And then you just run stuff like the Gohans and the Bardocks as supporting cards. But I do think this list is a lot more fun because just being able to spam the field as quickly as it can is fantastic.
Oh yeah. So moving over to the other side of the table, Jason, have you played against the SS4 package before? Before this match? Okay. I know you've experimented with Towa itself, so not really knowing what to go into this matchup, and also seeing the SS4, or did you know that prior to the matchup?
I knew Jimmy had built the deck because me and him had talked about it. I think a couple weekends before. So I didn't know really what to expect. So I didn't know how he built the deck. I didn't know if he was going to build it like everybody else on the internet was trying to do, or if he was going to do his own variation of it. So honestly, I didn't know what to expect or how it would even work going into the game.
Gotcha. So, if you can recall, what were you expecting? Like, how to counter his plays? Just try to push as hard as you could, or?
I think I did try to go pretty hard on my turn 3, if I remember correctly. Because this match is pretty close to the way that I kind of played the last viewing. But I think on my turn 3, I try to get as much of his life down as possible.
So you want to talk about this interaction where this could have been prevented?
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, so when you activate swap, it creates a blind window, I think, doesn't it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you could have said, instead of losing a card, you can always go, I'm activating swap. Is that good? If your opponent does a counterplay, you wasted the energy, but you don't play a card. Like, no target.
Oh, so the card stays on the field?
Well, you'll bounce the 3-drop back to your hand, but you wouldn't lose the 4-drop in that instance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be an option, but I think it was just both responding so quickly because I did slam that Bardock.
Yeah, you try to get that in there before he play. I think it's what happened. You were going to play it first. So just keep in mind, with cards with skills have 2 different counter windows. So
Gotcha.
So this particular, the first couple of turns at Towa does not really display how fast the deck can go. Mainly because I didn't want to die to a Broly onslaught, and I wanted to leave energy open for a Bardock, and then if somehow you were able to still continue with your onslaught, I did have the Gohan in hand to pseudo Nimbus you. So I chose not to go really hard on my turn 2. And then you hit me with Transcendent Strike, which I have not seen in forever. And I was just like, wait, what does that card do again? And you're like, oh, it just KOs 25k less. I'm like, excuse me, what? I was like, why are you running that? And then after this, you explained it to me. This video was recorded 2 weeks ago now.
2 weekends ago, yes.
Yeah, 2 weekends ago. I mentioned in the video that we recorded from this most recent weekend that every time I sit across from you, you're always like, oh, I got a new tech in my Broly list. And then I was like, okay, well, we might see it. And then you're like, Transcendent Strike. And I'm like, hold up, that's usually what's going on here. And then you explained it to me. I'm like, oh, that's dope. I like it. Because you're also running Surprise Attack Frieza in the list as a extra just free play aggression card.
Yeah,
which
I got to change it up every weekend. Otherwise, you guys just know what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
I will say, I think this weekend, Jake had asked me about that card. He's like, why don't I play it in prison? I took that card out initially because for some reason the game was going a more barrier route where every good card that you want to hit or get rid of is protected or couldn't be dealt with. But in the new meta, a lot of those barrier cards are we're not seeing them as much as we used to. So I could see it making a comeback.
Yeah. It actually turns out to be really well in my Broly deck recently. Because it's, I can KO somebody's card and then play Surprise Attack Frieza. Most people don't see it coming, especially in a Broly deck.
Mhm.
And then my next move on my next turn, if I can get the Unison in hand, if he still has, what is it, five or more energy, you take a life?
5 or more life.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah. Oh, life. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So basically, like, I'm just putting Unisons in there, just kind of like, throw them out there as decoys, really. So you guys will pay attention to my Unison cards. That way, you guys are hopefully not going after my Broly cards as often as you guys are.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, the way some people play our locals, you put a unison on board, it's gonna get targeted a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in a red deck with Merciless Barrage being a thing. And you can play Wolfang Fist, like just negging out your opponent's cards can be really deadly.
Yeah, that's why I like the Master Roshi Unison. I play it, you take a life, and I don't care what happens to it after that.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys end up not killing it, then I can get the 30k double strike out of it. But if not, you still take it a life for it, just playing a card.
Yeah, which that opens up one of like the big dilemmas in against a deck like Broly, where once you get, a good amount of energy, like Broly can just start snowballing, and there's not much you can do against a Broly with a lot of energy. So choosing to go after a Unison or choosing to attack into their field instead of their life can sometimes screw you later in the game. So putting out those red herrings like that is huge.
Yeah, if they get multiple chains going and they have a Unison on the table, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm, for sure. But to talk a little bit about the cards in Towa, if you're not familiar with all of them, the blue Vegeta is a draw two bottom deck 1 for 1 energy and is a 16k crit body, which is huge. The Gohan that I played on his turn is a pseudo Nimbus, where they can only attack for as many colors in their energy, which is huge in the meta right now because really there's no tricolor decks. The only deck that card is not very good in is the SS4 mirror matches, where a lot of decks are monocolor now. And then the other Gohan that I played on my turn will warp a 4 or less off the field and is a double strike body. And all these cards for 1 energy are just invaluable. They're fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely made it very difficult to play the deck or play against you.
They're just such huge value plays. There are some decent sideboard options, like the Supreme Kai that stops 2 drops from attacking. In blue, striving to be the best Goku is basically, it might as well just be like a victory strike against this deck, because you slam that and it's like, okay, barrier, all of your two drops can attack. It's like, well, good game, bro. I guess I'm going to try to kill you with my 3 drop Overwhelms and my leader.
Right.
So there's a lot of outs to Towa. I don't think the deck is this unbeatable god as some people made it out to be when it was first gaining a little bit of traction. And out of everybody at the shop, Jason has the best time Champas. Like I have played against everybody at the shop many times, but Jason will just put a Champa on the board and just look at you and just be like, "You gonna take it?" And then you have to sit there and he's like, "Well, I don't want to lose my dignity, so I'm gonna combo up my entire hand and I'm gonna lose next turn because I did." Every time he puts a Champa on field, I feel like my gut fall out because I'm just like, God, damn, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Which I feel like could have took this Champa and not felt too bad about it. But again, I was thinking do I really want to let him Champa me like that?
Is that on the leader swing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to take that double crit.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's either you take 2 life or I rip your entire hand out.
Yeah,
And
which is
that's my
huge.
goal, is to give you give you a 50-50 chance of.
And it's just us like doing our math wrong here. So, or I think we were doing our math wrong. I don't remember what we were talking about here. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I don't remember you negged a card or did some. I don't remember.
I didn't neg a card. I just don't remember exactly what we were doing here. Yeah, I think it was coming.
You needed 5 more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You forgot about Broly's +5 on swing.
Yeah, that was it. That was exactly it. And then here we were resolving the Majin Buu's human extinction attack, which I don't think it really matters what I put back or put into your warp. But also having to combo off that Mira really sucks, and it's a perfect example of all of these cards being 1+5Ks and being tapped out. That I had to combo off a card that probably would have just straight up won me the game if I could play it, you know.
I mean, that is the trade-off for this variant of the deck, though, right?
Exactly. Because, you know, you can do so many degenerate things, but then when it comes to the defensive side, if you don't have a Pseudo Nimbus Gohan or one of your other negates in hand, or just a bunch of your 5Ks, free 5Ks, then you're basically taking all the damage that's being directed at you. Now here I'm doing the minus effect on the Unison, which is huge in this deck. Because I'm gonna spawn 3 bodies, they're all gonna do really good stuff, and I'm doing it all for free.
I just saw the negate in Jason's hand, and I'm like, that is absolutely useless right now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Violent phase.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, unless I know that you guys are going to play a lot of Unisons, I might take that out of the deck.
Truth be told, I feel like in ratios, Violent Raise has gone down in a lot of decks lately.
It has. All you guys definitely came up over Violent Raise, in my opinion.
Honestly, I think the prevalence of Violent Rays kind of pushed itself out of the meta. Like, people started playing smaller battle cards to get around it, and then now you don't need it as much because the battle cards are smaller.
Right. As far as Violent Rays goes, I just keep a 1-up in the deck.
I think it's a great sideboard option, and since at locals we're trying to do more best of 3 events, which has been an issue due to time in the past. Being able to sideboard something like Violent Raise is huge, and you can mainboard your negates that are more prevalent in more matchups.
Yeah, you guys haven't really seen it yet, but instead of playing Violent Raise, there is a negate that I put in. It's negate the attack.
I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
That is a minor misplay there because I caught it right there. I was like, I have a red in the energy. I forgot I did that. Which comes to another thing of you don't want to charge any multicolors because of the energy exhaust. But I'm sorry, continue.
No, it's cool. That's negate. I forget what negate it is, but it's if you negate the attack, then choose up one of your battle cards and switch it to active mode.
Bottom's assistant.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I played Jake Squared on Saturday and actually did that negate, and then put my 4-drop into active mode, and then he couldn't attack my 4-drop, and then the next turn I went into 5 into the 6-drop and ended up beating him that way.
And I don't remember if I just forgot to tap the energy for that Gohan combo.
It looks like it.
Yeah, I believe I forgot to tap the energy for that. Which I don't think, because I think this was the killing.
Yeah, you got Thurp energy, so it's not that big of a misplay. But still, that's just ridiculous. Like, the look down, the barrel, and you seeing 8 to 10 battle cards and knowing that like the one true negate you had will not stop that at all.
Exactly.
And that just shows you the strength of a deck like the Towa. And Jimmy, do you want to give anyone a shout out for that deck by any chance?
I don't remember any other names.
Fair enough.
Shout out to everybody that has worked on that Towa list before it became public, because it is a really neat list, and it is a ruling that some people hate and some people love, but that's just part of the game. I don't see Bandai addressing this because it's not breaking the game by any means. I know it's probably going to be a menace at locals, just because of how cheap it is to build, and it's a very cool deck to play. So I think it's going to be a menace at the locals, but outside of that, I don't see it being very meta relevant. But I might eat my words. Somebody clip this, and when the top 16 at Nats is all SS4 Towa, you play this back at me.
I will say to that, having a deck that plays that well for such a cheap cost isn't bad either, though. So that way, anyone who's new to the game or wants to try the game out, they could go that route. And that deck does have a lot of interesting interactions, which will help you learn more of the rulings and how this game actually functions.
Exactly.
And with that being said, hope you all enjoyed today's matchup. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below and on the screen. Jimmy made a comment on a future video where I didn't call him out. So, Jimmy, you want to lead us out?
No.
There's buttons on the screen. There's videos that we've done before in previous weeks, and maybe something you guys will enjoy. Remember to like and subscribe if you liked and would like a subscription. And we'll see you next time. Fluff out.